It's Mark from Top Local Lead Generation. We're here with Bernie Pawlik of the world famous Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver. How are you doing today, Bernie?
Good.
So he's well-spoken and very succinct. We're going to talk about a Subaru clutch replacement today. How did this repair come about?
Well, clutch replacement is a fairly common service on a lot of vehicles with standard transmissions, and Subarus are fairly, how do I say it? There's a lot of standard equipped Subarus out there, and we do a lot of them at our shop, just based on the numbers of standard transmission vehicles on Subarus. So we'll just go right into the picture show end of things. You can see the picture of the car, Mark?
Yes.
Awesome, good. So yeah, this is our featured vehicle today. It's a 2005 Subaru Outback XT model. It's a 2.5 liter turbocharged engine. And there's a couple of unique features about the clutch on this vehicle, and one of them, which I'll get into in a minute, is it has a dual mass flywheel. Now, the vehicle came to us, the clutch pedal basically went down to the floor, and you couldn't shift it into gear. So we looked at it, did a diagnosis, and found a fairly simple problem. The clutch hose, it's a hose that has hydraulic fluid between the master cylinder and slave cylinder, was leaking fluid. So we replaced the hose, bled the system, and we were now able to shift gears, but it wasn't shifting well. When you push the clutch down and when you go into first gear, it would be hard. You have to force it into gear. It would kind of grind in between gears. So clearly that is not a good thing. What we found is the clutch itself was actually worn out as well. So it had two problems. So we went to replace the clutch. Now, as I mentioned, this is a dual mass flywheel clutch, which is not found in all cars. Actually, this is the first Subaru we've worked on that has one. And I'd say it's, it's because it's the higher performance model that they include this particular item.
So what is a dual mass flywheel?
Well, dual mass flywheel, and here's a picture of the old flywheel, is basically I'll explain what a normal flywheel is. It's basically a chunk of metal. This is the dual mass flywheel, but a single mass flywheel looks pretty much the same, but it's not quite so thick, and it has less parts. A dual mass flywheel is actually two pieces, and it's connected with a bearing and springs in between, and it's there to take out some of the shock of the engine, the vibrations. They're all very subtle, but they're there, and so it allows for smoother shifting, and I know there's a number of other advantages, which I'm not 100% certain of, but there's a reason they use them: better shifting and smoother performance. You'll find it in a lot of higher end cars, but they're also featured in a lot of lower end cars as well, like such as Nissan Versa uses them also. So the dual mass flywheel, that's the advantage of the dual mass flywheel, but the disadvantage of the dual mass flywheel is when it wears out, the flywheel itself usually needs to be replaced also, and that leads to an extremely expensive repair. These flywheels, the flywheel for the Subaru is $1,000 for the flywheel itself, but there are many cars where the flywheel can be $1,500, $2,000 or more, so that adds a lot of money on a clutch replacement. This is the single mass flywheel replacement, so there are solutions available for many cars, the Subaru included, and what the solution is a single mass flywheel replacement kit. So you buy a clutch kit that has a new flywheel. It has a pressure plate and release bearing. This is the picture of the pressure plate and release bearing installed on the flywheel. And as I say, this complete kit has a new flywheel, so you're converting to a single mass system. Saves a lot of money, and so you might think, okay, what are the disadvantages? Well, there really isn't any. We've done it on many cars and never noticed a difference in the way the clutch works. So there must obviously be some subtle difference, but is it worth spending an extra $500 or $1,000 to get the dual mass back? No. The other great thing about this is once you've done this conversion, this flywheel will last the life of the vehicle.
So is there any I can do to extend the life of my clutch?
Well, it's really most of what you can do to extend the life of your clutch is driving habits, because the clutch itself is all hidden. It's sandwiched between the engine and transmission. There's nothing to lubricate. It's really about your driving habits. And I guess the easiest way to say it is use the clutch as little as possible. When you're shifting, don't spend a lot of time holding the clutch pedal down to the floor. Shift smoothly and quickly. If you're sitting at a light, you know, you could put it into neutral if you feel it's safe to do so, you know, unless you think you need to move in a hurry. But if you're sitting for long periods of time, don't sit with the clutch in, leave it out. And that's really all you can do. It's just really a matter of timing as to when it wears out. Now, typically on Subarus, we've seen clutches wear out as early as like 70,000 kilometers, but some that last up to 200. But the typical range seems to be in the 1 to 200,000 kilometer range. Or if you're thinking in miles, it's like 60 to 120, I think, if I'm doing my math correctly, which is about average for most cars. And it depends on where you drive too. If you live in a, you know, top of a hilly area, you're going to wear your clutch out a lot faster than if you drive on flat lands and just drive on the highway most of the time.
Is there anything else?
No, but we will be doing a feature, another Subaru clutch coming up for a different problem, and that'll be, so look for that for our next hangout.
Awesome. So we've been talking with Mr. Bernie Pawlik, Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver, 15-time winners of Best Auto Repair in Vancouver. If you want a place you can trust, these are the guys to go see. Give them a call to book your appointment, 604-327-7112, or check out their amazing website, pawlikautomotive.com. There's years worth of these hangouts and tons of information about all makes and models of cars. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Mark. We'll talk to you soon.